We're here to solve the Sudoku by Akash Doulani called Zeros, and the theme is not just the geometry of those clues. It looks like we have a 1 through 9 set on the left and an almost 1 through 9 set on the right. And so where I sometimes talk in these videos about my standard style, we'll look at sets of rows at a time or sets of columns at a time, like look at the first 3 rows, look for repeated digits. In this case, the geometry stands out so much. I want to focus on the geometry first, and particularly as I've highlighted here, I've got 18 of these 20 values being doubles of 1 up through 9, and then I do have repeated 1s and 6s, so let's actually look at those. I can put a 1 in here, to put in 6 in here. The main reason this geometry is useful is examples like on the right side here. 7, 5, and 6 are not 3, 4, 8, and 9, so 3 and 9 have to go in the leftover column, and that quickly, in my normal notation style, gives me a lot of things we know about the space. 4 and 8 have to go in these cells, and with the 4 and 8 we have over to the left, these are things we know about them. And similar things can be done on this side. I actually had already placed this 6, but we would have looked at 2 and 6 in these cells, said that 2 has these 2 cells to go, and 6 has just this one to go, and so this actually becomes a force 2, puts a 2 over here. Still thinking that way with the 7 and 1, 1's already in this triple, but 7 is not, so 7 has to come in here. And so this is the first notation without doing standard scanning, but focusing just on these boxes. A few things you could then see from this. The first is actually all the digits are now in the notes over here, and so there is a force 9 up top, but maybe an easier thing to see, which you'll get from standard Sudoku, is 2 5s put in this 5. Now this 4 has to be down here, which puts a 4 here, moves down an 8, moves over a 2, moves down a 3, moves over a 1, and leaves the 9. But basically the notation is quickly forced once one digit is placed, the rest fall. This center column was always starting as 7, 8, 9. At the beginning of this puzzle, we've got 2 8s leaving this last 8, got 2 9s leaving that last 9, puts in a 7, 7 moves down 7, moves over 4, leaves behind 3. So the geometry is constrained enough. You can get all of the middle right by just focusing on it. So sometimes having that intuition of when the geometry is leaving you some tricks is a good way to sort of follow the author's path and be faster in these puzzles. Now, what I don't want to do is miss that author's path works another way. So I looked at how this blocking affected the 9, 8, 3, 4 placements. Let's look at how the 7, 5, 6 placements work across the rest of the grid, and we can do the same over here. 7, 5, and 6 now can't be in these cells. So they will have to have in the bottom, 7, 5, and 6 will be in these 4. And up top, 7, 5, 6 will be across these 4. And it's not as interesting in the bottom. We can get that there is a 6 in these cells. We would have seen that from straight Sudoku, but the effect at the start is actually, if you look across that 4-cell pattern with the 5 and 7 given, the author placed these 2 digits so that they would force a 5-7 pair right here and put a 6 as this remainder having to be in the top row. 5 and 7, put in this 5, put in a 5 down here. This 6 actually now comes across, has to be in the space, but 2 6s force a 6 here, which puts a 6 in here. That gives us almost everything in this column. So we have 2, 3, 4 to go, but there are 2 4s and a 3 over here. So 2, 3, 4 looks good. The 3 gives me a 3 in one of these cells. The 2 actually does a little more. 2s with these 2s means there's the last 2 in this box in this cell, last 2 in this box in this cell because of the 2 up above, and the last 2 in the grid goes in there. What can we do now? Well, we still have to get 5 and 7 into the space. We just put a 2 in this box. So what we should see is we have a triple here. 5 and 7 are going to be in these other cells. Another way of saying that is you could observe that 1 and 8 have to be in these cells at this time. And that puts 3 and 4 over here. That puts a 1 over in this space. And now I've got to get a 1 in the grid still in this top middle box. Has to be over here given the other digits we've got. Puts 1s down here. Actually, I didn't do this before, but I'm seeing 2 5s in the center column too. So that's going to put a pair, which forces this 3 over, pushes this 3 up, pushes a 3 here, puts in this 3, this 4. We got a 4, it's got to be in this row. Finishes a 7, still looking at 4s, we've got to get a 4 over here. That 7 needs to come down here, we need another 7, gives us a 7, gives us 7, 5, 5, 6, 6, 1. 8 and 9 here, 8 and 9 here. We're going to have to make some progress down below for those who get filled in. Let's use this 5 to give this 5, 5, 1, 8. So that now includes 8, 9, 9, 8. This is 8, 9, 1 over 8, and the last digits are 9 and 1. So got through the grid, didn't use our standard solving style. We kind of broke out of our usual and used the geometry instead. Just said, let's just look straight away at this pattern and focus first in the center, but then also using the firstmost and last columns, got into the top of these spaces, particularly finding the 7-5 pair, which was in the author's intended setting, was a key way to really make quick headway into this grid. So hopefully you got a sense of how I use the geometry clues to sometimes look at a puzzle differently and run into the solver's path. Hopefully got a sense of how Akash had set the puzzle by seeing my path through to the solution. So thanks for watching this video, and we'll see you again soon.